Hello, this is Miss Jackson. I'm going to finish making the video for the Unit 4 review. This is going to contain problems 9 through, I believe, 13. Problem 9 says, what number goes in the box to make the equation true? And what we see is something divided by 8 equals 6. We could sit here all day and try to figure out what number would go in that box that you could divide by 8 and have 6 in each group. And we could legitimately spend days trying to find the right number. Or, and this is what we should do, we can use our understanding of multiplication to help us solve this. We know that division and multiplication are inverse operations, just like addition and subtraction are. They're opposites of each other. So when I look at this division problem, I'm going to flip it into multiplication. To flip it, I'm going to start at the back, work my way towards the front, and change the operation sign pretty much. I'm going to have 6 times 8 equals something. I can solve a multiplication problem, and so can the kids. They're really pretty good at solving multiplication problems if they're being careful. 6 times 8 equals something. I can skip count by 6 8 times, or skip count by 8 6 times. I can make 6 groups and put 8 objects in each group and then count them all. Any of that works. I'm going to try to skip count by 8 6 times. I'm starting at 0. Add 8, that's 1 time. Add another 8, that is 16. Another 8 would be 24. Add 8 more, 32. 8 more is 40, and 8 more than that is 48. And I did that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I counted 8 6 times, and I landed on 48. So my total here is going to be 6 times 8 is 48. If I were to flip that to division, back to division, it would be 48 divided by 8 is 6. And so that is my answer, 48. Another way you could solve this would be to make 6 groups. Put 8 objects in each group. And then add those together. 8 and 8 is 16, 16, 16. And keep putting those together until you come up with 48. A lot of kids like drawing arrays. I'm not going to draw one here because I'm out of space, but that would be 6 rows with 8 objects in each row, and then they like to either count the dots or skip count from there, and that would bring you to 48 also. From there, this says problem 11, and it says 11 on your page. It's really problem 10. Rosie listed the house numbers of some of her friends below, and we can find those house numbers here. Which list shows only the house numbers that are even? Well, we know that number 1, the only place that we care about is the ones place. I do not care about any other digit in this number. I only care about the ones place. I know that my even numbers are the numbers that are divisible by 2. Numbers like 2, 4, 6, 8, and 0. If I start to look through these, I can see on A, there's a 5 in the ones place here. That's an odd number. Can't have that. B, this 7 is odd. You can't divide 7 evenly by 2. That is odd and not even, so that's gone. C, if I look in the ones place, I have a 4, a 2, a 0, and a 4. Those are all divisible by 2. And lastly, D, I can look at the last number. There's a 7 in the ones place. That is odd. So the only one that shows the house numbers that are even is going to be C. The takeaway here is we only care about the ones place. And what makes a number even is if it is divisible by 2. Can you evenly divide that number into 2 groups? I don't care about the tens place, the hundreds place, the thousands, the millions, the billions. None of those. I only care about the ones place. Is that number easily divisible by 2? Will it evenly divide into 2 with the same number in each group? Oops, let's see if we can bring that back. Problem 11. Galileo, I feel like another problem had Michelangelo. We're going with all the greats here. Hey, Galileo is placing bread rolls into baskets to be served at Tepitio's Italian restaurant. A fresh batch came out with 35 bread rolls. He has 7 baskets to fill with the same number of bread rolls. Which model shows how to find the number of bread rolls that Galileo needs to put in each basket? Number one, I know that my total cannot exceed 35. So when I add up what's in each of these rows, if it goes over 35, it cannot be correct. The second thing I know is that he has 7 baskets. That tells me how many groups I have. So if I want to draw the model myself, I am going to draw 6 vertical lines. That should give me 7 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. From there, the number that needs to go in here is going to be the same number in each box, and when I add it together, it has to total 35. So let's look at our answer choices to start. Here I see 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. 7 times, we know 7 times 7, if you work that out, is going to be 49. That exceeds our total of 35 bread rolls. A cannot be correct. B, I can instantly get rid of it because I don't even know how many groups there are. Haven't even looked, but I see there's a 35 in each thing. That's going to take me way over my total of 35. C, let's count this up. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups. 5 in each group. Let's see what that totals to. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So here I have 7 groups, 5 in each group with a total of 35 bread rolls. That's perfect. Let's look at D. D, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups with 7 in each group. Well, I know 7 times 5 is 35, but to find the more accurate model, I need the one that shows me 7 groups. That's going to be C. That would be correct. D would not be because that's only 5 groups, and this said there should have been 7 baskets, 7 groups. Be careful with that. The first thing I would do is go through and eliminate what cannot be the answer, and then look and see if you have 2 models that both total 35, try to determine which one more accurately reflects what's being said in the word problem. You've got to not just read the word problem, you have to read the word problem and think about what it's saying. Okay, problem 12. Oh, and that is all we have on here. I thought there was 13, but there's only 12. Well, that's okay. Arcelia is getting ready to clean out her aquarium. She has to move her goldfish into 4 smaller containers until she is done with the cleaning process. She has 32 fish to scoop out. Due to sizing, she must put the same number of fish in each container. How many fish should Arcelia place in each container? I'm going to start by drawing a strip diagram, and it is going to look like this. We know in the top of our strip diagram, we always put our total. Do we know a total number of fish that she has? Yes, 32, because it says she has 32 fish to scoop out. Do we know how many groups she's going to put them in? Yes, 4, because it says she's putting them in 4 small containers. And our job now is to find out how many fish are going to be in each container. There are different ways we could do this. 32 is not too big of a number, so you could, oh, I don't want that there. Go through and put a dot in each group until we get to 32. So that's 8, 12, 24, 32. Once you've divided your 32 fish out into the 4 containers, all we have to do is see how many fish are in each container. Well, I see that there are 8 fish in each container, and I want to make sure that there's the same number in each one. If there are not, then I've not done this correctly, and I need to go back and redivide much more carefully. Now, the division sentence that I would write for this would be 32 divided by 4 equals 8. If I want to turn that into multiplication, it would be 8 times 4 equals 32. And I can check that because I'm really good at multiplication, and you are too. I can count by 8 4 times. 8, 16, 24, I sure hope, and 32. That's 8 4 times 32. That matches my total. That's perfect. I have my number of groups, 4 groups, 8 in each one. Good. So in the end, how many fish should she place in each container? 8. All right, that is the end of this review. If you have access to IXL, I would strongly encourage you to work through section, I believe it's S or U. I think it's U. I hope it's U. That is division. You'll be able to see on there, it'll say division. The bottom specifically, I think the bottom option in that section is going to be division word problems. I would certainly work through there. There's also, I think, a relating multiplication to division or division to multiplication. It's something worded like that. I would do that. If you can turn your division sentences into multiplication sentences, you can solve your problems much more easily at this point in our mathematical careers. And you can also check what you've done and make sure that you've done it correctly. That is all I have here. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you are a 3rd grade friend watching this video, when you take your test, please draw a model, some sort of picture, equal groups, a strip diagram, an array. Whatever you need to do to solve this correctly, please draw a model of some point. Of some kind. If you will do that, you will be much less likely to make a mistake. That is all I have for you today. If you have any questions, let me know.